Hey everybody, I've always wanted to travel Route 66 from start to finish. And I don't know, there's just something to me about adventure, something to me about road trips that I absolutely love, and something to me about Route 66 and the time and the era that it represents, that it resembles, a time of when it was more about the adventure and less about getting to a place, and I love the movie Cars. I love watching this movie with my kids, and there's a specific line within the movie where one car says to another, as she's remembering the good old days, she says, Route 66 existed when people wanted to have a good time, not just to make good time. And I love this. We are on the information superhighway right now. It started really prior to the 1950s. The number one way people consumed news was through the radio. Then, of course, the 1950s came around and there came TV. And then later on, the internet back in the 80s. And now we have the internet partnered with social media where we consume information constantly. We're over-consuming and stuffing our face with all of this information. And now the scary part, and I love social media, and you could use it for a lot of good, but the scary part about social media is now everybody can say whatever they want to say and claim it as truth, claim it as news, and as we know, that's not always the case. And so I'm wearing this hat today, Fact Checker, sent to us by our good friends at Sodak Clothing. We love Sodak Clothing, and I love this hat at Fact Checker, and it has this verse. If you can't see it, it has this verse on the hat. It's Acts chapter 17, verse 11. It says, Now these Jews were more noble than those in Thessalonica. They received the word with all eagerness, examining the scriptures daily to see if these things were so. They examined the scriptures daily, it says. And I know that we consume all of this information. But I ask these questions. Where are we getting the information? Who is sharing the information? And what are we fact-checking it against? And as we know, there is no greater fact-checker in the history of the world than the Bible, the DNA of who God is. And I propose to you that as individuals and as a nation, as a world, man, anytime we hear something or think or see something that contradicts Scripture, we instantly have to change our setting. We have to change our thinking. It's not Scripture that changes, but it's we who have to do the changing. And so I love inventions. I love that we no longer just have to listen to the radio or TV. Now we can stream all this information, but make sure what you're taking in is both factual and true, and also that it benefits you in some way. And some news is bad news. It's not all good news, but make sure you don't drink too much of the poison. Make sure you are informed and not misinformed. And make sure you're checking everything. Be a fact checker. Check everything according to Scripture.